So lads, the biggest NBA story of the day is a crazy one. It's a sad one, but if you're Boston Celtics, be happy. So, you guys can see, unfortunately, I just did not want to set my green screen up. It's like 20 past 12 at night. I'm exhausted. I just took my green screen down and we saw this. So it's just going to be camera. It's just going to be a small camera in the corner right now. Not going to be any green screen stuff right here. It's not even going to be a good camera. But Dennis Schroeder has fumbled the bag. But what is Dennis Schroeder's loss is the Boston Celtics game. That's all I'm going to say. Because I get it. Schroeder had some bad playoff games. Dennis Schroeder is really, really good. Can we just put that out there? He is really good at the game of basketball. He is really good at the game of basketball. But he has had a bad couple of weeks. He has had a bad couple of weeks, lads. That's all I'm going to say. So first of all, we know Dennis Schroeder turned down a crazy contract in state of shock after $84 million Lakers decision backfired. If you guys don't know, he got offered a 4-year, $84 million contract and thought he could have got more, so he actually refused it back in March. And then what happened? A lot of things. First of all, he had a bad playoffs. And then, secondly, the Lakers, the team that offered him the contract, went a completely different direction, their point guard, and got Westbrook. And then, well, this was seen last week. He was skateboarding. He's a free agent. He didn't even have his money. What the hell is he doing skateboarding? Why is he skateboarding? Why is somebody who's looking to make as much money as possible being videoed skateboarding? And I get it. Anyone saying, oh, he should be allowed to do what he wants in his spare time. Yeah, no. Actually, you know what? Actually, he's not signed by anybody. He is actually allowed to do whatever he wants in his spare time. But I mean, it probably cost him a little bit of money. It didn't help him. And even if it didn't help him anyway. But for anyone saying you can do whatever you want in your spare time, that is true. But if something happens, I mean, there are going to be repercussions. Again, Jay Williams, after the motorcycle injury, career done. Because obviously, it was in the contract. I'm pretty sure it was in his contract that he couldn't ride a motorbike. Carlo Cudicini, a completely different sport. Carlo Cudicini crashed a motorbike as well. His career was pretty much done after that, and he... Unfortunately, it is what it is. You breach contract. You do something outside to put yourself in danger. Bad things can happen. But this is the contract he signed. 1-year deal with Boston for $5.9 million. He turned down $84 million for 6. He lost potentially $78 million, lads. He lost potentially $78 million. But this is not... It's fumbling guaranteed money. But all I'm going to say is, he bet on himself in March. If he bets on himself again, he's going to recoup that money. This is a bad thing, but could be made a good thing. Again, guaranteed money is guaranteed money. Let's just put that out there. Guaranteed money is guaranteed money. Betting on yourself does not always work. We gotta stop glamorizing certain situations where it's someone takes a risk, someone bets on themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's a risk for a reason. If you bet on yourself, there is a good chance you, in a situation like this, or in certain things in life, a lot of people, again, you see people quitting jobs for YouTube. You see people giving up guaranteed money for the potential for more in life. And there's, without question, there are always risk reward with any of these decisions. And it's the exact same in basketball what Dennis Schroeder has made. He bet on himself and unfortunately came up short. If the Lakers win the NBA championship, which was not necessarily expected, but wouldn't have been a surprise going into the playoffs. Dennis Schroeder would have been offered an extension probably bigger than that with the Lakers, or he would have just gone. He would have just been able to sign for someone else for more money. And that's the thing with situations like these, because in hindsight, it's crazy to talk about him turning down that extension. But in reality, was he worth the 4-year, $84 million? At the time, yeah, I'll say it, yeah. He was. And if he had had a good playoffs, he would probably have been worth more in the open market. So again, he bet on himself and he failed. But the great thing about this is that he's gone to the Boston Celtics, a team where he has the chance to bet on himself again. He has the chance to recoup all of this money. Because again, he's not particularly old. Like, he's 27. Well, he's about to turn 28. So he will be 28 next year. And at 28 years old, if he comes off a season where the Boston Celtics make the Eastern Conference semis or the Eastern Conference finals, and he ends up being, say, a 20 point per game. Maybe not 20 point per game. He ends up being an 18 point per game scorer. He's going to recoup every cent that he lost. It's just what it is. It is what it is. He has currently lost out on it. He has fumbled guaranteed money, but he could potentially make more. And it all depends on how he plays. Like, again, this is another, as I've already said, we're looking back on this deal right here. Like, I'm even seeing Shannon Sharp being out here tweeting, saying that he's out here fumbled the bag, which he has. Like, no question about it. He's fumbled the bag. He has. But I mean, let's be real. If you thought you were going to get more than a certain amount of money, like if you thought you could have, if you had a good playoffs, you could have made $25 million a year. Would you risk it? Maybe you would. I've never been in his position. I don't know what it's like to be in that position. Again, I make a little bit of money off talking nonsense on YouTube. I've never been in the position of someone making millions of dollars. I don't think I'll ever make $1 million off this. But like, we're looking at it with him having a bad playoffs. Because imagine an alternate reality. Dennis Schroeder signs this deal. The Los Angeles Lakers don't get hurt in the playoffs. They beat the Phoenix Suns. They then go and beat the Denver Nuggets, and they beat the Utah Jazz. A healthy Los Angeles Lakers team may end up beating the Milwaukee Bucks. They go and beat the Bucks. Dennis Schroeder is the third player on that team after LeBron and AD. Hypothetical situation. And he's already signed the contract. He would have been sitting there being like, I could have made $100 million if I had just not signed the extension. So there's always two ways of looking at it. Obviously, it turned out bad. As of right now, it has been an absolute disaster for Dennis Schroeder. But hindsight's 2020, and I'm seeing a lot of people clowning him on the timeline for refusing the deal. He bet on himself. Hindsight's 2020. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. As well as that, he's got time to make up for it. There's potential for him to make a serious amount of money next summer. But at the end of the day, that's a completely hypothetical situation. For all we know, he could get hurt and be out of the league in a year. It's just, that's sports. That's the volatility of sports. So, was he smart to turn it down? No, in hindsight. Was he smart to bet on himself? In hindsight, no. But do I think there's going to be a lot more situations like this in the future? I think there is. I think Dennis Schroeder is getting more flack because he's with the Lakers, which is the biggest market. And two, he turned it down right before the playoffs and had bad playoffs. So there was already people like insulting him anyway about that, clowning about that as well. And then there's obviously the fact that he got no contract. He's obviously worth more than $5.9 million. We all know that. We all know Dennis Schroeder is worth more than $5.9 million. He is a top 20 point guard in the NBA, maybe. Like, he's a starter on a vast majority of teams. The teams he's not a starter on. And if he's not starting, he's one of the best six men, if not the best six man in the league right now. But yeah, it is going to be an interesting one. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think he's going to recoup any of the money? Because I think if he doesn't get injured this season, like if he just plays through this season, does not get injured, he's probably going to be able to sign like a 4-year, $40, $50 million deal, where he still lost out on a serious amount of money. Don't get me wrong. And that's if he plays badly, but he can recoup a lot of the money. It's not like he lost $70 million. But if he goes and has another great season like he did at Oklahoma, in OKC, like he did at times in Atlanta, and it turns out that the Celtics make a big run in the Eastern Conference Finals, he could be looking at getting almost all of the money he lost back. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. Sorry about the no face cam, or no green screen. I'm just not putting it back up. I'm really just not bothered putting it back up. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.